So a couple of days ago, I did a quantum healing hypnosis technique session, QHHT. It's created by Dolores. She has a lot of great YouTube videos online and books. I haven't read the books. I watched a couple of videos. Very interesting. Very yeah, just watch them. So I went to somebody who I found on the internet. She was a level 2 practitioner. I went there, we had like a conversation. She asked me questions. That was like a 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour and a half or 2 hour conversation where we just she asked me about my home situations, how I grew up, the experiences, the illnesses, the major shifts or the major themes that were occurring, the questions that I had. She wrote all the questions down that I had on a paper. She got like some context for who I am, where I'm coming from, what my life situation is. And then there was a chair. It's like a recliner. You sit in the chair, you recline back. She covered me with a, what do you call it? A blanket. And she clipped me with a microphone. She put on the recorder. So after doing an induction technique, I would have the first visions. Now the first visions that I saw, this is all my own experience. This is all very relative to me. It's my own experience. And I'm translating it in the way that I can now, but I can be wrong, right? So first thing that I saw was, I was in this open etheric space where there were like clouds. It's like a heavenly open space, and there were like these golden barred gates, and I was just standing there. And I didn't see my body. It felt like I had this bluish like transparent body, just looking. And then she was asking me questions. She was guiding me. All of a sudden, like a figure appeared, like a golden like with a huge massive amount of like armor, like a golden figure appeared before me, like massively. And looking at him, there was like, whoa, he's just standing in front of me. It's like a guardian or something. And she was like, are you afraid of him, or what do you feel towards him? And I got this sense, like I saw like this image of like a bear, like very like biting a piece out of me. Like I felt like, whoa, this guy, this thing, this entity can be so dangerous. But it's just there. And then all of a sudden he picked a trumpet and he started to blow, and beings started to appear out of nowhere. Beings, all kinds of beings, like translucent beings, like beings with wings, animal-like beings. This figure near me, who's like a Grim Reaper kind of thing. Like, this is all my interpretation, right? This is all what I remember and how my mind translates it. Like, and I saw him, and he took my hand, and he was looking on my hand. Like, I saw like all kinds of information on my hand. He was just scrolling. And then he took out this huge list, and he was looking, like, there was just this list, and it was like blank, or I couldn't read it. It was like a bit vague. My mind was like trying to understand, what is this? Is he like, is this heaven? Did I die? Like, what's happening? What's happening? Is he checking if I can enter heaven or not? Is this the Grim Reaper? And I saw like he had the staff with this sharp thing. He was standing there, and while looking at me, like all of a sudden, like these two guardian-like creatures, like creatures like with these owl-like complexities. They came in and they dragged me towards like further, And I came into this open space, and at my left, I saw like this woman with a child. They were very like light being likes. They were very beautiful. She was very beautiful. She had this very auric, bluish, glowy like texture. And as I'm going towards the middle of the room, like I start to see my body. I start to see that I'm like this angel, or like this bluish like being who has wings. And a voice starts to speak, like there's music and there's like this voice. It's like, you have forsaken your duty. You are a being of darkness. You gave into lust, to greed, to different things. Like I'm talking from memory now, so it's not like some things. I'm not gonna say exactly how they were, right? But you're saying all that, and like that being is just sitting there, waiting for his judgment. It felt like it was a trial, a judgment. Like I saw like these two dragon heads appeared, and they were like sissing and looking, and like the room was covered with a huge like audience. Like I was just waiting for the judgment. Like I didn't see the judge, but I heard a voice. And there was this feeling in like, I don't want to die. I don't want to die before I redeem myself. I need to do good deeds before I die, so that I don't get condemned. So I need to make up for everything bad that I did. So yeah, that was honestly, going through that, my mind was like, holy shit, what is this? Because you see it's unfolding like a movie. It's like, holy shit, is this like a past life? Oh my God, what does this what does this mean? And in my heart I felt like, I don't want to die. I don't want to die and suffer for my sins. So then I saw like these dark hands grabbing hold of my body, or the body of who I was seeing. His wings, his body, and it was being pulled apart and like pulled apart in pieces. And I saw like remnants, flesh, bodily fleshes on the ground. And it was like smudged with a kind of tissue like bloody, like tissue but not blood. And then I started to see a different kind of image. I saw like a being who had this ball of light. And it was like this thought, like that being that was teared apart, he had a sprinkle of light in him. And it's like some being, like there was a darkness about it. He had it in his hand and he took it. He's like, this light is now mine. And then I saw like this vision of a new man, like a new body coming out of the ground, like or a hand reaching and coming out, and almost like there was like a ritual like setting and sphere, and like my mind was going bonkers, like what the is happening here? What is this? What does this mean? Like, oh my God. Right? Sometimes images from my CAP session with Kundalini activation process would flash in between. And my mind would try to create associations, meaning. And then we went to a different setting. We traveled to a different setting, and I saw a man with a doll. Saw him having a doll, and he had this deep loneliness. He was a very simple man. He looked very like aged, he had a beard, he was very lonely, he had a deep desire to feel warm, to be with somebody with another body. He was having this doll and he put it away. It was a very simple doll. In the beginning it looked very complete, but then as I looked at it more and more, it was like from sticks. It was a very simple doll, and he wanted things to happen. He wanted interaction, he wanted connection. Put that away, and I don't remember exactly what happened then. There were like flashes. I only remember flashes. I remember how there was like a field, and there was like a lot of wind in the field, a lot of just wind creating space in the field, but nothing like concrete. And then we went to a third image, and the third image, it was very interesting. A third situation, I saw like this very bluish like being, like from Avatar the movie. And he was like dying. His heart was giving up. It was like I felt how his heart was beating less and less strongly, and he was giving out life. And he had like lived a life of service. He devoted his life in service of something bigger than himself, right? He was a protector. He was a protector of people, took care of people. I don't know. Did he take care of people? I don't know, but he was a protector. Again, this is all my memory, right? How I remember it. And then I saw like this tornado-like white light of water or something, like appear on a pier. Like if you have like a coast, and he was standing there, it appeared, and it was swallowing things up. The therapist, she told me afterward that this was like, in shamanic tradition, they say that this is like the vortex of creation, which takes everything and creates things. If I remember correctly, maybe I don't remember correctly. So like then she asked a lot of questions about what was the lesson, what needed to be learned, what is relevant for now, for this lifetime. And for me, it was learning how to be a leader, learning how to devote myself to a cause, to devote myself, to give myself. Not be a follower, but a leader. And then she started to ask me all these kind of questions that I had about, for instance, about a digestive issue that I had. It was about why was this created, about a connection that I had with about this connection that I had with a woman, and about the visions that I kept having about her. Basically, it was so, it was like you're streaming information. You're in the backseat and there's just information streaming. Sometimes the mind comes in between, and then you just go back to the breath and you breathe. And if you just focus on the breath, things will come, things will shift, things will move. And not all questions were answered, but a lot of them were. Life purpose. Like it was like confirmation about life purpose, about what the next steps are. For me, it's traveling. I need to travel. About community, about how important community is for me, and how I need to spend time in a high level consciousness community to be able to learn how it is to to live in a high level community and to then integrate that. And then I can go back to wherever I live and have that integration with me. That I can spend some time with a certain teacher and integrate that experience. About my next steps, about travel and do certain kind of trainings, about my purpose, about, there's a big theme about developing responsibility, my manly energy, my masculine energy, about stepping into that, because I've been going into my feminine energy and just wait and be, and I'm underusing my masculine energy. I don't know if it's because I didn't have a father growing up, I didn't have that influence, but it was very apparent that I need to develop that. But apparently I'm already like on the path of working with that. It's like a big thing that needs to be healed, or given attention to, or be brought into awareness. Also some things, like with the digestive system, like she asked, like, can you take care of this? And I would feel like this energy start to move in my body and shift in my brain, and I would, like, it was very funny how things were happening. So apparently a lot of the time when I would have like setbacks, it would happen because I didn't make a choice. I wasn't in alignment, and I didn't make a choice to be a certain way, to do a certain thing, to commit to a certain thing, to devote myself to something. And because of that, I wanted to just wobble in between, to experience that and this and that and that. And because I'm not choosing, like, I'm experiencing all of it in a way, but very like not concretely, not crystallized. And it was like every setback that or everything that occurred to me which wasn't pleasant to my experience, like digestive issues or other things, it was like to pinpoint me to a point where I could not afford to waste time, where I could not afford to play around, where I needed to make very concrete, responsible choices and to do certain things. It's like, that's why this happens. So, yeah, like that, those experiences were, I mean, to hear that come out of your mouth, it's so revealing. It's like, really? It's all for me to just crystallize embodiment. And like with the connection with the woman that I have visions about, it was like, don't worry about the visions. It's your mind's reaction that something needs to happen. Take care of yourself. Bring yourself into alignment. Step into your masculine energy. Take responsibility. And just allow yourself to unfold. Trust that whatever needs to happen will happen. You just need to do your thing. You need to do what you're supposed to do, right? Like, be actively involved in your life. Be a participant in your life. It was very humble to have all these questions answered, and I'm very grateful for it. Like, I can recommend it to everybody. I haven't re-listened to it, but yeah, like, some things were made so clear for me, like the community aspect, about sexuality, about having a lot of intercourse with women, about energy, how if you don't use the creative energy or the energy that's in you, there's a buildup of energy, and you have to release it either through masturbation or through sex, and that it's not bad, it's just what happens, because the energy needs to either be used so you're tired, or the energy just needs to be released. Otherwise there's a buildup of energy because it's not being used. So yeah, very, very, very deep, profound experience. Like, I love the content, the constant stream of information, of pictures, of, like, it felt literally like 20-30 minutes, but we were there 2 hours 45 minutes or something like that. Wow. Also, it talked about all the gifts that I have. And that it's not about me wanting to be like others, having gifts like others to be successful. It's about recognizing all the gifts that I have and then allowing myself to share them and to use them. Yeah. Somehow, somewhere, the things that were said, I have memories of thoughts or insights, like I knew this. I knew some things. I just never seen it so clearly or so put in front of me, like, this is what you think. This is what it is. I mean, it's so wonderful to step back and to just give yourself to that process. It's a very deep process. What did I notice after the process? It's a kind of recontextualization in your life about certain things. Like, unconsciously, whenever I think about certain things now, I have a different dynamic or a different opinion, a different belief, a different outlook on things. Like, I know now, oh, this is what it's really about. This is where I really am. This is how I really feel about this. So for me, it's very clearing. It's very a lot of the things that I wasn't sure about, or I didn't have like answers to, I didn't understand why it was happening. I now have like very concrete like understanding. This is happening because of this. With this is what I need to do with this. So yeah, like, I can recommend this to everybody who's interested in getting more clarity, because this gave me so much clarity. Yeah, clarity. Yeah, and yeah, it's so beautiful. Whoa.